This is going to be a beginner's guide to Pool of Radiance. It's a game that's 33 years old and it's considered a classic. A lot of people grew up playing it and love it dearly. But the major goal is you're going to create a party of characters up to 6, and you have to take down the quote-unquote boss of New Phlan. And this is, you tend to get this top-down tactical view of fighting contrasted with the overhead map where you walk around and you find encounters. So I'm going to quickly take you through character creation. So you have several options here. Each of these races have different advantages, and I'll take you through them in a future video, but just to create a character. So we create, pick its race, pick a gender. We're going to have a female fighter. Fighter's probably the simplest class to deal with. This only matters really with clerics. With clerics, I think if you have a true neutral cleric, you can't turn undead. The rest doesn't really matter. This has very little bearing on the game. We're going to be neutral good. And you want to roll. Do you want to keep this character? No. We want to keep rolling until we have decent stats. You'll see, like, you see in the bottom left, there's AC and HP. That's armor class and hit points. And then you see your major 6 stats above that. So with Pool of Radiance, you will probably take a party of 6. I recommend you take a party of 6 when you're a beginner. And you'll have 3 people in the front and 3 people in the back. The people in the front want a really low armor class. So the lower the armor class, the harder the hit. The more HP, the more hit points you are, the more survivable you are, more durable you are. So the major thing at the moment is just keep an eye on the AC and the HP as we flick through. And this is a fighter, so we probably want... That's not too bad. Like, I would consider taking that. But we might just flick through a few more until we get something fairly decent. We probably want... Yeah, see, that's getting tempting. I would like an armor class of 7 or 8. That probably would have done. Okay, so we're going to roll with that. Strength is another major thing with fighters in that it improves their damage and chances to hit, but there are several items in the game that modify your strength, so I'm not too fussed by that. Just don't have a really low strength below 10. Yes. You may give it a name, and then you can, this is just for looks, but you can pick your body and your head. And this is the icon part. So you can change their icons, weapons, for instance, and you can just go through it all. Part 1 is, you can change the color. And finally, part 2, change the color of the body. And you just keep exiting out and go, do you want to keep this icon? So you go through that and you create a party of 6. So I've created one previously. I'm just going to add them all to the party. And you'll see a lot of my guys, the first 2 guys, they have like an armor class 6, so that's really low, which is good. We're just going to begin the party and then I'll begin the adventure and I'll take you through it. This is New Phlan. He gives you a brief guided tour. So temples are important. You can heal your characters there and identify items, and they also play a role in some of the quests. This is the dock. That becomes more important as the game goes on. A lot more of your later quests involve the dock, and you can move around with that. This is a training hall where you can do 3 things. You can train your characters, you can engage in duels, and you can hire NPCs. You can engage in a duel if it'll get you a small amount of XP. So if you rock back into here and 5 of your characters can go up and one of them just can't, you might just engage that character in a duel to get them a little bit more XP. And NPCs can be quite handy if you're finding a battle a little bit too tough. I'll mention this in future videos too, but Phlan is very much a game that's similar to that lyric in the song. You've got to know when to hold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. Some fights are best left for later, and some fights you should just run from, and some fights you shouldn't pick. So this is where you pick up your. That was where you pick up your quests. So we're at the entrance to the slums, which is our first quest. This big L-shaped, upside down L-shaped building is a temple. Below us is the gardens. I'll just take you a quick tour around. So if you read the warnings, guards posted around the door in the south wall watch you closely. So that's a bit of a hint that you probably shouldn't go that way, but we'll go that way in a moment. So she just rattles off what you can do. The first quest is the slums. The second quest is the Circle Keep. So if I step down here, you're intercepted by some guards. If I press no and pick a fight with them, I'm going to die. So this is where you basically go, know when to hold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. So we're gonna say, do you leave? Yes. So we didn't pick a fight with the really overpowered tough guys. Again, to the right, that's just some gardens. This is another temple. That's kind of, there's 3 temples and they're kind of in handy locations depending on how you get back into New Phlan. So something you can do here is you can rest, and I don't think I've converted my money to platinum yet. So if I go yes, it'll ask me to select, and I'll go, you don't have any platinum. So we need to actually A, go buy some items, and B, get some platinum, because we just have starting gold. So if I go pool, take, we have 455 gold. The major thing you want to do here is get your frontline people the best armor you can get. So we're going to go buy, and the best armor we can afford is banded mail, which is 90. So 1 for them, 1 for him. This is just vendor going down next. Buy, right down the bottom. Buy. These two are. This one's a wizard and this one's a cleric, so they can't wear armor. Oh, so the cleric can. What am I saying? So we'll buy the cleric that. And this lastly is a thief. Thieves aren't a very good class, but I'm not going to buy him anything at the moment. You should probably just buy him leather. You actually don't need to buy weapons in this game because you can just go beat people up in the slums. Most people are going to buy weapons, but you can just go get everything in the slums anyway. So just go share, and you'll notice that they all have a small amount of platinum now. In the game, there's lots of different types of currency. I won't go through them all. There's a lot. But when you buy from the stores, they will convert the currency to the lightest weight you can carry, which is typically platinum. So just a quick tip: you can go order, so you can move people around a little bit. Bilbo can be at the back. I might move. I'll leave that for the moment. This is my cleric. I might move it forward, but we'll see. Just with the magic, you want to memorize your spells. M for magic, M for memorize. So you want to do, this is your cleric. Probably a bless, a cure, light runes, and detect magic. The clerics are fairly utilitarian, very, very useful. Not always the most offensive spells. This is the most overpowered spell in the game at a low level. Sleep. There's sort of 3 epochs in Pool of Radiance magic-wise. There's the Sleep epoch, the Stinking Cloud Hold Person epoch, and then finally the Fireball epoch. At the start, you want to have 3 sleep spells in your party. And this guy's a cleric magic user, so I memorized my cleric spells and my magic user spells. And again, I did detect magic, cure light wounds, and a bless. This guy's a fighter magic user. So just to take you through the party, I'll end the video in a second, but I'll take you through the party composition in the next video. And so now we need to rest. And then we'll just save the game. I want to show you one last thing, so I just want to rest for a couple of hours just to show you this final thing. So when we go around New Phlan, one thing you can do, if you press L, it looks in the current location. So you can see that it's changed to nighttime. If I try and go into this door is locked. Do you want to break it down? If I press yes, the City Watch will rock up, so we're going to say no. Again, don't pick a fight with the City Watch. But this is the one shop in Phlan, New Phlan, which has a back door, and they'll actually allow you to buy stuff after hours. Also, just quickly, where are we? This is the shopping precinct. If you look in some of the bigger buildings, so this one for instance, this is a tavern. You should avoid them as a low level character because the fights will break out and you'll probably die. Again, Pool of Radiance is a game where you can die really easily. It's meant to be an immersive game where they try not to break the fourth wall. They try not to get you out of the world by you can die in a great many spots if you go adventuring too fast. So they primarily want you to go to the slums. I'll just quickly show this last thing. So this is the docks. So at the moment you can only go to Sokol Keep, which is the second quest. This is the back entrance into the training hall. So this is where you train a thief. This is where you would train a fighter. This is where you have jewels, which we can deal with that later. You could potentially get an adventuring partner here. So we're just going to go no. Would you like to consider somewhere else? No. And then in the front part, you have clerics to your left, magic users to the right, and here I am stuck in the middle with you. And finally, another temple. So we're very much about to go. Oh, lastly, before I say that, the last thing you want to do is you want to get all your guys' equipment on. I'm going to show you in the future video. I'm going to show you how to get better equipment. But just make sure you got your armor on. So you got your spells memorized, and you got your armor on. Sleep's really overpowered. So when I take you through playing, you'll see that you can just pick up your weapons in the slums as you go. So finally we're just going camp, save C, and then no, and I'll see you in the next video. Hopefully that'll get you up and running.